Okay, here I'm replacing the spark plug of the number 4. This is the one that came apart on me, the coil, the brand new coil. They came apart on me whenever I was pulling it off, but it was just the rubber boot that came off. Put it back all back together, make sure that the little coil inside it was all the way out, so we'll make a good connection with the spark plug. And I just gotta get it tight and everything should be good and back to normal, and I'll have 2 more to replace. Then I'll turn on the engine and make sure that everything is running good, and it should be good for another 75 to 100,000 miles, hopefully. And we put in the coil back in. And this video I had to make it in 2 parts because my wife kept calling while I was making the video with my cell phone, and the first video got disconnected. But everything is just you just have to repeat the same to replace each spark plug. Make sure that it's all well connected, and make sure that you put the screw back in or the bolt back in to hold the coil in, and everything should run just as new again. Okay, here we're gonna do the number 2 cylinder and unplug that, but for some reason this coil wasn't like sealing, making a good seal there on the engine block. Just came off, and it have some oil or water, a lot of humidity inside. So hopefully the new spark plug will take care of that and make a better seal, and we won't get that oil or water. It looks more like it is oil. So we have a problem on this one. Probably this one is getting a blow by because I see some oil in the hole, so that could be bad. Let's take the spark plug out and see what's the problem in there. Well, what I found out so far on this spark plug, they have some oil on the coil boot. It is some oil in the cavity there. Is that the spark plug was loose, so I'm just gonna make sure that whenever I take it out, make sure that the spark plug is tight. And this car, the last time the spark plug was done, it was at the dealership. So I don't know how can they replace the spark plugs and leave one loose. But I guess it happens, and you'll never know until you go back in it and gonna change the spark plug yourself. Well, here's the spark plug. I take out the spark plug that was loose. It was previously replaced by the dealership. It was completely loose, and how you can see is full of oil. And I just hope that the tip don't look like have any oil. I just hope there is oil that is coming from the top. You can see this oil on the top. I don't know if it's for whenever they're doing the oil changes that there's spilled oil and it goes to there and all the way down, or it's maybe we have a bigger problem with the cylinder rings that are bad, and a spark plug is not gonna fix that problem, or a brand new coil. Okay, already cleaned and replaced the spark plug in this cylinder. Let's put the new coil in, and hopefully this one will be nice and tight. I'll make sure that the spark plug was tight and it don't get loose. They don't come loose by themselves. It's only if the mechanic or the person that is doing it get them loose. See, this one is nice and snug, so it's not coming up as easy as the other one. So that should take care of hopefully the oil that is on top going down, and it should be a lot better than the previous one. Let's just make the connection here and click. Put the screw back in. Pretty long screw, and we should have just one more to go, and hopefully that won't be any problem with that one. Hopefully it'll be just like the other 4 with no oil or no problems in the spark plug or coil. Okay, and this is the last one. Already got the bolt off and pull off, and it had a good seal. You can hear it whenever it pops coming out, so that was good. Now it's just to replace the spark plug and we'll be done with this tune-up, and it should be all just as normal without the hesitation or the blinking engine light coming on that says drive slowly, take to the dealership. So you don't have to do that now. You can replace your coils by yourself with something very easy and simple. And while you're in there, go ahead and replace the spark plugs. And well, put the last one back in and start the engine and see how everything is running. Okay, here we go to get the large spark plug out. I already got it loose with the ratchet, so this is not just put that in, and it look like it have some oil, and this spark plug looks pretty bad, but the oil is on the thread only, and it was a little loose, so I don't see any oil on the tip of the spark plug, so everything should be okay, at least we hope. And we'll put the new spark plug in and see how everything goes from here. Okay, here we're gonna go with the spark plug. I used this little piece of tubing just to pull them off and put them back in to make sure that they don't get frustrated. It's an old trick that I learned years ago with the flatheads, and usually it works pretty good if you have to go all the way down to pull the spark plug out. And that's tight. I'm trying to do everything with one hand, so make it a little bit harder to get it tight with one hand. And remember, whenever you get it tight, you're supposed to go between 1/2 and 3/4 turn. So there, it should be nice and tight. Never grab it all the way to the back, because the further you grab it, the more pressure or more torque you put into the spark plug nut or screw that you put it in. If you grab it nice and close, it'll be less, but you'll make sure that you don't over torque it or mess up the thread on the spark plug or the nut or anything you're doing. Let's put the last coil back in. Let's see, I cannot see. There it is. I'm going nice and tight. That one got a nice suction on it. Just gotta put the screw back in. Don't forget to plug it. And that should be it. And next we're just gonna put the cover back on, or no, maybe we're just gonna start it up before we put the cover back on and make sure that everything is functioning properly and we don't get any surprises. Okay, so there we go. We're ready to replace all 5 spark plug and 4 coils, because this one was already replaced 3 months ago, and then I had another one giving me problems. And we had a couple of surprises, changing them, but everything should be good. Now we're just gonna go in and start the engine and make sure that everything is working properly. There we go. And the engine started up fine, and I don't feel any of the missing that I had before. I still got to replace the high beam. I have the oil light turn on. I have to do an oil change next, and the check engine light is on because the catalytic converter is bad on it. That'd be another project. Here in Florida, we can kind of bypass the catalytic converter, cut it off, put a straight pipe on, and just go with the muffler. But in most states, you need the catalytic converter, and so when it goes bad, you'll have to replace it too. So everything looks normal. Whenever it accelerates, it's not missing anymore, nice and smooth. Before it was missing. Whenever it accelerates, you see the check engine light started blinking, and then you get the message on the side. Then now it's not gonna come out, but it should be all good. And this is a 2001 Volvo V70, and how you see is it got 178,000 miles on it. So there we go. Hopefully this is very helpful for you, and you can just do your own tune-up instead of going to the dealership and spending $500-600 on or more, and something that I paid like $36 for each coil, and about $45 for the spark plug. And make sure you buy a good quality spark plug, because you're gonna need it in this European cars. And that's it. Thank you for viewing, and hopefully this video was very helpful for you. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in our next project. Thank you.